all leap off to save themselves. So.
Hi everyone, this is D&D Beyond. I am joined with my friend Kate Welch, an all-around awesome game designer and player. How you doing today? How are you having a good event?
I slept 12 hours, and I am a new person. I could do this whole event all over again from the beginning.
I have slept 2 hours,
That's
and
Why?
I'm a garbage person. No, I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
inability
accurate.
to sleep, constant thinking.
I'm sorry.
I know this is a random, terrible question, but so you've been playing D&D for a really long time.
Yeah?
When you ended up becoming a wizard for the first time, how did that inform how you started designing D&D? Did you, because you must have had a checklist of, I would love to see this and this and this.
Yeah, well, that was actually kind of part of my interview. They asked, when they were interviewing for this position, one of the questions they asked was, what, if anything, would you change about 5th edition? And I can't tell you the answer to the question because it is likely going to be a feature in an upcoming product, which I'm very, very excited about. I just found out Mike Merles was like, remember that thing you said in that interview? You're going to design that now. I was like, oh crap. All right, well, it was BS, and now it's going to become not. It's an interesting sort of dichotomy for me because I come at it from the perspective of a player, I come at it from the perspective of a user experience designer, and also as a performer. So there's sort of these 3 paths that I always consider things from. I also I'm an evangelist for new player experience, which is part of the UX thing. Yeah. And so I am always thinking as I'm designing, is this clear enough for a new player to get through it with as few hurdles and bumps along the way as possible? So that's the UX person. The player, I want systems that facilitate the feelings that I have around the table of that magical fun, the collaboration and the amping each other up. I believe that some people might play Dungeons and Dragons and enjoy it just fine as I'm a min-maxer, my character is awesome, and I'm going to do the awesome thing, and I'm going to feel good, power gamer stuff. That is a totally fine way to play D&D. It's not how I play. I am there to look around the table and be like, how can I make a cool moment happen with some of these people? Because otherwise, for me, what's the point? I could play a video game and feel awesome by myself.
Yeah,
right?
Rosie Beestinger is like a shadow monk.
Yes.
You can kick ass,
yes.
take names.
Sure.
Or take ass and
she takes a lot of ass.
Yeah. So it's over. It's over. It's over. Sorry, endgame quotes, spoilers. But that's a character where you do a great deal of role playing.
Yeah.
Who's exceptionally combat focused.
Yeah, and it's a challenging thing because I'm always trying to figure out.
Oh.
I have this effect on streams, by the way. The power will go out every time I'm on a stream.
Rosie Beestinger also does drop shadow.
Yeah, I just cast a little darkness just then. Okay, so.
Or shade.
She does throw some shade. But trying to use my abilities as a combat-focused character in a way that supports the people around me has been a really interesting challenge. But it's I think it may be more of a challenge than it should be. So that's one of the things I'm always percolating on is what are some cool homebrew things that I can do both in the game that I play and in games that I run to make combat especially feel more collaborative, to make it feel like we're here. I'm going to make you feel awesome in this game. I'm going to pump you up and make you have a cool moment. And I know that you're going to do the same to me. I know that we have this trust now. When I have an opportunity to do something cool, Todd is going to be in there making sure that I have that cool moment and supporting that cool moment.
That's something I'm a deeply failed game designer, so we'll just get that out of the way. But I wanted to create a game that had combo effects, basically, where your effects, the spells that you cast, the combat you have, it has the normal effect that you see in D&D. But then it can add to the next thing.
Totally.
To the next player's thing.
Yes.
It's that Avengers moment, if
exactly.
you will, where you just see okay, Iron Man shoots his laser out.
Right.
Captain America puts up his shield. The shield bounces off. Everyone's working together.
Totally.
And previous editions of D&D never really articulated that
Mm-hmm.
that team effort in combat necessarily.
Yeah.
This is your round. This is your round. Instead of I cast a spell, you're gonna be better at what you do next.
Exactly.
If I do this kind of melee attack, the next thing you do, and
Yeah.
it can like just become this combo.
Exactly. So combos are a thing that I'm a huge fan of trying to mechanize, and I'm gonna be playing with it. There's nothing official about this. This is just me bullshitting.
Yeah,
But
these are all lies.
Anything that it would be like an official part of a product, I'm never gonna tell you. So if you hear it from me, it's just Kate BSing.
It's official.
This is like Jerry teasing me about 6th edition. Don't even. If I'm saying it aloud, it's probably not going to happen. But
Just go to 8th.
one of the things, an example of this that we do in the C team is it's a super simple one, but Dinar, our Dragonborn Paladin, and Rosie are obviously like there's a huge height difference. She's a tiny little halfling. He's like a 7-foot Dragonborn, and they have this thing they do called the fastball special, where Dinar picks Rosie up and chucks her. And then she's just this like blender of misery, right? And it's super simple. It's super easy. But it makes sense to me that an adventuring party, as it levels up together, they would start to understand how the other works in combat. They would start to be like, oh, she always does this. So I know I can use my abilities to aid in that or whatever. Like to me, that's a system that grows with a party.
So I would almost like to see group feats.
Oh, yeah.
So as
that's
you're,
awesome.
That's something that, because you don't get feats right away unless you're a variant human and you're trying to be sneaky. But yeah, like if there are feats,
Yeah.
that would be amazing. So group feats. So you're like, okay, you and I, we have a great rapport in the
Totally.
game. Let's take this group feat where we do this weird
Right.
combo move.
Yeah.
That's unique to our characters,
It's
and
so
then you're
cool.
like bonded.
Yeah, I love it. And like to me, I can build systems and tables and chapters about how to actually take this system from level 1 or level 0 and make it so like not only does your character level up, but this combo system, the bond, the combat bond that you have in your group would level up too. And then also give people a reason to not check out during combat. Because especially if you have more than 3 people at the table,
yeah.
like I've seen it doesn't happen on streams because it's a bad look to just like take out your phone on a stream and start texting your mom or whatever. But like in private, hey, can you? In private, people do it all the time. Like combat starts, they're like, oh, I'm 6th in the order, so I'll just look at some stuff, and it's totally understandable. It's rude, don't do it, but it's completely understandable that people do that. So getting people to like stay focused, even when they don't have an opportunity directly to interact with things in combat is another sort of
It's like making
cycle.
combat exactly mirror role playing.
Not exactly. Not exactly.
Not exactly, but like if you're role playing with people, you're not going to check out. You're having a
Yes,
conversation.
exactly.
And
yeah.
the combat has to be kind of
Yeah.
a conversation as well.
In role playing, you're looking for the thing like, what can my character do to further this moment, to further this story? Wouldn't it would be awesome to have that feeling in combat too.
Yeah.
But right now, I've noticed there's kind of a metagamey feeling if I'm sitting at a table and Cathris, our warlock, can hex a stat, and I'm like, whoa, it'd be really nice if he hexed this stat, because then they're about to do this con save and I would love for that stat to be hexed. But I feel weird saying that aloud to him because it's like
Right,
it's
yeah.
metagamey. But I don't think that should be like. I
Maybe
think
it's auto.
you should discuss it and
Yeah.
have like anyway. We can stop designing this feature, but like
No. I want to keep designing this feature right now live. Because this excites me. Because this is like a passion of mine. Is like when we're playing games, I just try to shove extra. Like if someone tells me, like you said,
Yeah.
if someone's throwing another player at somebody else,
Right.
I'm just going to add to their damage, or I'm
Totally.
going to add some other effect.
Yeah,
I'm
and
just going to wing it. And
Totally.
certainly Dungeon Masters can do that on their own, but it'd be great to just communicate that from day one.
That'd be super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a system just like everything else in the Dungeon Master's Guide, a system that you could maybe potentially use or be like, I like combat the way it was.
yeah,
No big deal. Anyway,
I think that's brilliant.
thanks.
I think you're a genius.
I think you're a genius too, Todd.
I think they hired you for a reason.
God, I hope so.
Yeah. What has this changed you, being a game designer at Wizards? I know
Oh.
it's like deep question.
Yeah.
But-
Oh, yeah. I think actually it goes back to starting on the C team. Every part of my life is different. than it was. And maybe, I mean, that's just a passage of time. It's been a little over 2 years since that show started, but every part of my life has changed to be about Dungeons and Dragons in some way. And so I feel like the answer to that question is a resounding yes. But certainly since I started at Wizards, previous to this, I was in video games for 6 or 7 years.
You and I were both working at Amazon.
Yeah, we were.
Remember?
Yeah, I was at Amazon Game Studios, and then before that, I worked on Guild Wars 2 at ArenaNet. And I worked on a bunch of freelance stuff in between. I did work for Double Fine, although that was just web design. But anyway, I in my roles up till now, I have been a user experience designer. And what that means is making like graphic UI, a lot of like infrastructure wireframes. But the thing that was common to all of those jobs and all of those roles and all of those games was I wanted to craft what players wanted and give it to them as easily as they could possibly ingest it, right? So part of that is understanding the difficulties of what happens and trying to be like, okay, these friction points, these are no good, and I know that we can solve them by doing X, Y, and Z. So let's just, and having like a library of game design options in your head, trying to make everyone's lives easier, because the best user experience is when you don't notice.
Accessibility.
Accessibility. And it's like, it was one of those jobs where if I was doing my job right, no one would say anything. It was like, that was the golden rule. Like if I knew that if people were noticing my UX or my UI, that was a failure. And so what that means is that you don't get a lot of like, oh my God, your user experience infrastructure on this was so delightful. No one says that.
No, it's kind of like being a composer.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well,
Johnny Dubs. John Williams.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was like, Johnny Depp. So I'm like,
I call him Johnny Dubs.
Is that what he's doing
in
now?
At 95 or whatever.
Yeah.
No, so I think sound designers get it.
Yeah.
And sometimes like a subtle score can go unnoticed, but for stuff like film, the score is so tied to the film and the emotional resonance of it that's a little bit different. The user experience of a product is not tied to the emotional resonance. So there's no glory at all for user experience. So being now a game designer means that people listen to my creative ideas, which is new. And
that's gotta be a nice feeling.
It's a super nice feeling. They're listening to my creative ideas, but they're also, I don't know, people notice when you do a good job.
Yeah.
And I have been, at first I was really uncomfortable with that because like people, I would have my name in the credits for a product and people would be like, oh, you did such a good job on this. I'm like, how do you know what I did?
How do I deal with praise? How do I function?
I don't understand how this works. But now I'm like, bring it on, because I know that I'm doing, I have never felt this way in a job before, but I know that I'm doing a good job. And I feel it. And when I look at the products with my name on them, I feel so proud of them. So I guess that since starting this job, that's the biggest change for me, is like having pride in my own creativity and starting to trust that I have good ideas sometimes. And that is such a new feeling. I'm 34 and I've never had that feeling before in my life. So
that's a long time not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. I love it.
I mean, yeah. I think a lot of people have dealt with that.
We just
did you have to get over imposter syndrome?
Oh, no, there's no getting
over
imposter syndrome.
No.
Okay,
no, good.
But we just finished a complete pass on the adventure for the Rick and Morty starter set.
Yeah.
That's coming out. And I shouldn't call it a starter set because it's Rick and Morty. It's a box set, and it is intended to be read and playable by whomever. But it's I would not think that anyone should start their Dungeons and Dragons career with the Rick and Morty box set.
But people are.
But they will. They will. But we wrote this adventure, and it was they
turned Rick and Morty into a game called D&D. Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's gonna be that.
Yeah. There is gonna be that, and we designed this product to be like. I knew that a lot of people were gonna buy it just to read it, like just to read the rule book and the adventure, because we worked super hard on putting it into Rick's voice, it's it's quite a thing. But the adventure, I'm the lead designer on this product, and the adventure was something that I spearheaded. I worked with 4 writers and myself on it, and it was the most ludicrous shit anyone has ever written. I think it's safe to say this is the craziest D&D adventure that's ever been written, which it should be.
Yeah.
But one of the things that kept happening was I was like, I have this idea, and I'm going to write this room, and I'm going to put it past the smartest people in the office and see what they think. And I would hear them laughing and be like, this is so great. I'm like,
oh my God.
Yes, it's so good. And then the playtest feedback has come back, a little bit of it, and the playtesters are like, I like this room and this room the best. And I'm like, those are my rooms. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Because I've never written an adventure. I've run plenty of custom adventures. I've just never put it down into like 5th edition-y format.
Yeah.
And so it's my first, and I'm learning a lot. And trust me, it's far from perfect. But oh my God, it's so much fun. And I feel so good. I hope that everyone likes it. Everyone.
And when is that coming out?
That is the TBD, but it'll be in the fall.
Okay.
So Descent into Avernus and the Essentials Kit are launching on September 17th. Essentials Kit will be a Target exclusive for the first few months, and then it'll be available everywhere else. And the Baldurs Gate Descent into Avernus will be at all your usual retailers. And then I think it's sometime after that that the Rick and Morty box set will be coming out.
Is it freaking you out having people come up to you? Having you sign books?
No, it's lovely. Everyone here has been so good. This event, compared to last year, this event is jam-packed with people.
Yes, we are looking around right
a
now.
lot.
And
There's
seems to be plenty of
a
people.
big traffic jam, even
Satine,
behind the
you
scenes
calm
here.
that down. You bring
Satine.
the energy level down. No,
Satine,
maybe I hit somebody.
Legs down.
Legs
down, Satine. Yeah, but it's been amazing. This event has been wild, but this has been consistent for me. And my personal experience of D&D fans, I know nobody's perfect, and no group of people is flawless.
Well,
but
anyone who thinks they are perfect, there's a problem.
But the D&D community is probably as close as it gets in my experience. Like they're all sweet and kind. I keep meeting, there's so many women here, and they are beaming. Like people feel safe and happy in this space.
Right.
And so I'm just like, this has been an incredible. I told everybody at the office who didn't get to go to last year's, like if you can beg it off of Greg, try to go. And I think like 90% of the team is here. So, but because it's so energizing, like it carries you through the next year.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of depression afterwards.
Well, yeah, that's
because you missed
con crash.
But you and I both came from different sides of video games, and I'm not knocking video games.
Me neither.
But wow,
it's different.
The D&D community is supportive.
It's different.
And
it's smaller. That's part of it. You know, like D&D, it has, I think the estimate is 10 million players, and video games at large have got to be like 1.5 billion, right?
Yeah.
So it's a much smaller community. It's more intimate, but also I think it has to do with the nature of D&D.
Social contract.
Yeah. Like there is a social contract. If you're a butthole, you're not going to get a lot of people who want to play with you. So you have to learn to get along with a group, and everyone is so kind here. So no, it's been wonderful. How about you? Has it been weird for you? People
What,
coming
being
up
here?
to you?
Yes, I have. It's always weird for people to be nice to me.
Well, that's because you're a sack of trash.
Yeah, it is, because I am a trash, awful, evil person, and I know.
I'm just telling you what you want to hear.
No, it's always nice when people come up and listen. If anyone comes up to anybody ever and says something nice, that's pretty great, right?
Oh yeah.
So
that's a takeaway from today's interview is go up to someone and say something nice today.
Yeah.
Make their day.
And be willing to probably have someone say something nice to you.
Yeah. Look out for that.
Tell me a little bit about Avernus and what you did on that.
Oh, okay, sure. So Baldurs Gate Descent into Avernus is our new product. I'm sure anyone who's watching this has already heard a million hours about it.
Spoiler alert, there's
a
book.
new product coming out. But it is an adventure that starts in the, iconic city of Baldurs Gate, which so many of us know. But Baldurs Gate, although it has never been the most, straightforward, water-deep, metropolis type of town, it's definitely darker, grittier.
You're being very kind to Baldur's Gate right now.
Well, Baldur's Gate is shittier than you remember it. Like it is more crime laden. It is more dangerous to be out in the street. Even in the upper city, the wealthy will hire bodyguards to just walk around. Like it's not a place you want to be. So you start your adventure there. There's some hijinks and shenanigans that you have to figure out. And Baldur's Gate itself is fleshed out quite well in this Gazetteer chapter. So we tell you all kinds of things you would want to know about running your game, even partially or completely in Baldur's Gate if you wanted to, as well as some character backgrounds in case you want to make a new character who's from Baldur's Gate or a new party that has a dark secret. And from there, we're trying not to give away too much of the plot line, but after some
I know it.
some particular bouncing around, you end up in Avernus, and I think at a way earlier level than anyone would want to end up in Avernus.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
Does one ever feel prepared
Yeah.
to go into Avernus?
It's a fun surprise for folks who are like, man, that's full of like CR20 monsters and archdevils. Why would a low-level party be in there? Read the book and find out. It's so clever and well done, and that is all Adam Lee and Chris Perkins and Ari Levitch, like the narrative designers on our team.
Three of the loveliest people you might ever meet.
The loveliest people, truly.
All right.
So yeah, you spend a bunch of time in hell. You meet an archdevil potentially, and so the things that I worked on, I largely shepherded a particular chapter, which is sort of the culmination of a plot point in the story, and it has to do with the Archdevil Zariel, who is my all-time favorite character in this book, and one of my favorite characters of all.
One of the most interesting villains, I would say, in D&D history,
She's
actually.
Very relatable. She's
Yes.
very relatable. So yeah, I'm super proud of the work that I did on this, which is a tiny part of this huge team that worked on it. So I hope everybody likes it when you get a chance to pick it up.
You will like it. So thank you, everyone. On that note.
I could probably talk for another 45 minutes. So.
Yeah, no, I think we would be happy with that, but then all of these people might destroy us.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kate Welch,
Thank you,
for
Todd Kenrick.
doing an interview. Yeah, that's true. That's my full name. That's terrifying. Thank you so much for watching D&D Beyond. We'll be right back with some other shenanigans. Bye.
Who are some of the unique, villains or
Yeah.
potential allies that we'll be seeing in Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus?
On the top side, you're going to go through Baldur's Gate, and you're also going to do